Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I would like to share my comments on the new Paul McCartney album, Egypt Station. I've seen many review videos and I thought I would give it a shot myself too. But let me say something first. I should mention that there were some things that annoyed me, or should I say that I felt saddened about, when I was watching some of the reviews of Paul's new album. Many of the reviewers were somehow critical and bitter to the album. It is somehow weird and not understandable to me seeing Beatle lovers, great big fans, who are collecting anything that any Beatle has ever released or done, to judge the album haughtily, without the real benevolence and goodwill for the artist. I can understand that someone likes or relates to one song more, one song less. But when we talk about someone as Paul McCartney, there certainly should be a more positive attitude towards his album. I would even expect a sort of magical atmosphere in the Beatles music community. It's the Beatles releasing an album in 2018 with 16 completely new tracks. What a treat that should be! Where is the enthusiasm and that initial spark that once, at some point of our lives, got all of us into the phenomenon called the Beatles? Therefore, I think it's wrong when someone starts listening to the new album, acting like they're on the judges panel for Britain's Got Talent or something. I've seen reviewers discussing individual songs on the album, saying like, weak lyrics, the intro is too long, but a good guitar playing though. I think they're missing the whole idea of how a listener should really approach to the album of someone like Paul McCartney. This is something I've been noticing even in general. The biggest Beatle fans and collectors are often the most critical and cold-hearted to their beloved artist. To those people, with all my goodwill, you are not professional reviewers. You are not music producers. You are not a talent show judges. You are fans. You love Paul. You all think that he is more than just a casual musician. The guy changed the world. Let us rejoice this amazing moment of him releasing a new studio album, the first one in 5 years. And once we start appreciating the whole event more, realizing how special it is and who Paul McCartney actually is, we will be able to get into the album more and like it for what it is and what it means. We'll be able to appreciate every note he played, every word he wrote. It's a good album, of course it is, but it shouldn't even be stuck with the categories of good and bad. No, we as fans should be in awe of Paul's music. It should be taken as the new mysterious act by someone that changed all of our lives. In my review of Egypt Station, I will share some of my feelings and thoughts of each of the 16 songs on the standard edition of the album. I've enjoyed every single song as I allowed the artist to touch my soul with his product, simply for what it is. I prepared some notes for commenting and discussing each song on the album, so I will be following my notes. The album opens up with an opening station, dreamy, mellow introduction to the album. The feeling of a fictional station that takes you to the journey. The second song is called I Don't Know. It's a beautiful, typical McCartney piano ballad. He is amazing with writing piano songs. He wrote so many in his career. It has a very beautiful piano intro, a beautiful melodic bass line. I like how it's repeating the melody after Paul singing, "I've got so many lessons to learn." That part is like a conversation between Paul and his bass guitar. Then the third song is called Come On To Me. A very catchy song, It's more rocky and playful, and I can see why Paul chose it to be a single. For some reason, Paul's voice, and especially the verse, reminded me of his 1984 Give My Regards to Broad Street film. There is a scene where Paul plays a couple of songs with his band, also featuring Ringo Starr in the movie. These are the songs like Not Such a Bad Boy, No Values. I can picture him playing Come On To Me in that same scenery. It kind of fits to that atmosphere. Track number 4 is Happy With You, a very acoustic song. Paul sounds calm about his life, talking about the joy of life in two. I like the flutes part in the song, or whatever wind instrument it is, maybe a woodwind. That part sounds something that would fit into the Beatles song. Number 5, Who Cares? It's again a more rocky song against bullies, and it's encouraging the victims of bad people's harassment and gossiping. I admire Paul saying idiots in the song. Who cares about what idiots say? The rocky sound to this particular song reminded me of Paul's 2 songs from his Off the Ground album released in 1993, Looking for Changes and Biker Like an Icon. The track number 6 is called For You, a somehow controversial song that Paul released as a 3rd single on YouTube. For You actually stands for you, and not the F word. It sounds very cool, modern, contemporary. I can imagine the car cruising with this song being played on high volume. It's a badass song, one of the most entertaining on the album. I really like it. Number 7 is Confidant. This might be a song that I related most to. The song is about Paul's love relationship to his guitar. Talking about his memories of the early days and how guitar was many times his only friend whom he would share the secrets with, and he feels bad for putting his friend down at some later stages of his life. Very meaningful and also relatable to me, as I've been playing guitar a lot and have experienced some crises in the recent times. There's a nice guitar sound in the song, and there is a somehow heartbreaking vibe to it. Number 8 is People Want Peace. This song could be a younger sister to Ringo Starr's song Peace Dream from his Why Not album, which actually featured Paul playing bass. Paul says, "The message is simple. It's straight from my heart. And I know that you've heard it before. I know that you've heard it before." Without thinking too much, the verse from John Lennon's song Mind Games came to my mind. I want you to make love, not war. I know you've heard it before. The next track is called Hand in Hand. It's a song for Nancy, and it's inspiring all the lovers out there. It contains only a piano, acoustic guitar and strings, and it has a beautiful solo by some sort of pipe. I'm not sure about the exact instrument, but it's a wind instrument again. Number 10, Dominoes. A song that's inspiring to live the current moment to the fullest and taking the most out of it and leaving the past behind, whether it was good or bad. It's important to overcome the past quarrels, to forgive and move on. Paul says, "We'll soon forget we ever met and disagreed." The message of the song is that life keeps going on. I feel this is a nice preview of the song that's coming later on the album, called Do It Now, which emphasizes the meaning of the current moment on an even deeper level. Number 11, Back in Brazil. Funky keyboards, a modern production, creative playing of the instruments, even sounds jazzy at times. Number 12 is Do It Now, the song I already mentioned, one of my favorite tracks on the album, and I was surprised how most of the YouTube reviewers didn't really care about it. Beautiful message of expressing your feelings right now when you feel it, don't hesitate. The chords and structure of the song for some reason remind me of the sound of the early 70s. I don't know why I got the picture of the band called Badfinger in my mind. It's something they could have done in terms of music, a dark and majestic feel to the chords. Very powerful. I could also call this song a younger sister, and the younger sister to this one from Flowers in the Dirt album released in 1989. and the beautiful lyrics go like that. Do it now, while the vision is clear. Do it now, while the feeling is here. If you leave it too late, it could all disappear. Do it now, while your vision is clear. Number 13 is Scissor Rock, a rather creative piece of music. It sounds like they were just having fun with this song in the studio, very rocky, even the way Paul sings it. Number 14, Despite Repeated Warnings, a song about the global warming, somehow political and socially aware. I like how the song flows. Paul's mood is serious, the music in verses is really nice and solemn, and then at some point the song turns to a different, more rocky mode and finally comes back to the initial melody, initial atmosphere. Number 15 is Station Number 2, a sequel to the opening track on the album. It's like we reached the final station on our journey. The sounds evolve from being enigmatic to the vivacious opening of the last track on the album called Hunt You Down, Naked, Ceiling. It's a whole of 3 music pieces that sum up the album and give the album the final eruption of creativity. So these were all the songs on the album, and I'm always surprised how Paul can still pull off so many new and versatile tunes even after about 60 years of writing songs. He's still so relevant even to this time and to this generation. So I really like the album, and I think it's a good album. And when it comes to Paul and the artists you love and the Beatles that were so significant for the culture of the whole world, you just need to kind of appreciate every single thing they do and not be too critical on them, because after all they are musicians that made the biggest movements in the history of rock and roll and music in general. So let's give them some appreciation and enjoy their products, and don't forget that we're their fans and we love them, and let us show some support to the amazing Paul, releasing his albums at the age 76 now. Thank you for watching this video, and see you very soon in my next video.